November 24, 1971, Thanksgiving Eve in Portland, Oregon. A heavy rainstorm batters the Pacific Northwest. Inside the airport, amidst the holiday rush, a man approaches the Northwest Orient Airlines counter. He is quiet, unremarkable.
He pays cash for a one-way ticket to Seattle. The name on the ticket? Dan Cooper. He is dressed in a sharp dark suit, a perfectly pressed white shirt, and a black clip-on tie. To the other passengers, he looks like a typical business executive.
Flight 305 takes off. Cooper sits in seat 18C. He orders a bourbon and soda. Then he casually hands a folded note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. She assumes it's a phone number and drops it in her purse on read.
Cooper leans in. His voice is calm, polite, but deadly serious. "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Florence unfolds the paper. The handwriting is neat, all caps. It demands $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills and 4 parachutes.
To prove he isn't bluffing, he opens his briefcase. Inside, Florence sees red cylinders, a battery, and a tangle of wires. He isn't just a hijacker, he is a man with a plan, and he is willing to bring the plane down if his demands aren't met.
The pilot relays the demands to the ground. In Seattle, the FBI scrambles. They photograph the ransom money, assembling the cash in record time. They are preparing for a hostage situation. But Cooper has no intention of keeping hostages. He has a much stranger escape in mind.
The plane lands in Seattle. The exchange is made. The money and parachutes go on board. The passengers get off. But Cooper orders the pilot to take off again. Destination, Mexico City. But he gives specific flight instructions. Fly low, under 10,000 feet, with the wing flaps set to 15 degrees.
He orders the crew into the cockpit and locks the door. He is alone in the cabin. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, over the dark, frozen wilderness of Washington State, D.B. Cooper lowers the rear air stairs of the 727.
With the money strapped to his body and a parachute on his back, he steps out into the freezing rain and 200-mile-per-hour winds. He jumps. And just like that, he vanishes from history.
The FBI launched one of the most extensive manhunts in American history. Usually, a jump like that is suicide, but Cooper was calculated. He jumped into a transition zone between storms, suggesting he knew the weather patterns. Soldiers, helicopters, and local police combed the dense forests of Washington. They found nothing. No body, no parachute, no money.
A reporter made a mistake that would stick forever. Police checked a local criminal named D.B. Cooper. He was quickly cleared, but the media latched onto the name. The hijacker was actually Dan Cooper, but the world would only ever know him as D.B.
The only physical evidence he left behind was the black clip-on tie he took off before jumping. Decades later, electron microscopy revealed a stunning clue. The tie contained particles of titanium, cerium, and strontium sulfide. In 1971, these were rare elements used only in high-tech aerospace manufacturing.
This suggests Cooper wasn't a random drifter. He was likely an engineer or a manager at a chemical plant, or even a Boeing employee. He knew the plane, he knew the drop zone, and he wore the elements of his trade around his neck.
9 years passed. Silence. Then, in 1980, a young boy named Brian Ingram was digging a fire pit on the banks of the Columbia River at a place called Tina Bar. He unearthed 3 bundles of rotting cash. The serial numbers matched. It was Cooper's money.
The discovery raised more questions than answers. If Cooper survived, why did he leave the money? Did it wash downriver, or did he bury it there? Over 800 suspects were considered, but one man stands out, Richard Floyd McCoy.
5 months after Cooper, McCoy hijacked a similar plane using a similar grenade threat and similar demands. He was a trained paratrooper and a thrill seeker. He was caught and imprisoned, but he never confessed to being Cooper. He died in a prison escape shootout in 1974, taking his secrets to the grave.
Other theories persist. Some say he was Kenneth Christensen, a Northwest steward who bought a house with cash soon after the crime. Others believe he was Robert Rackstraw, a relentless con artist with CIA training. But in every case, the DNA evidence from the tie was inconclusive or didn't match.
In 2016, the FBI officially closed the case. They redirected resources to solve modern crimes, leaving the D.B. Cooper file administratively closed. It is the only unsolved skyjacking in the history of commercial aviation.
Did he die in the fall, buried beneath the pines of the Pacific Northwest? Or did he walk away, investing his money and watching the news from a safe distance, laughing at the world's greatest manhunt?
The money at Tina Bar remains the only trace. The man known as Dan Cooper simply ceased to exist. What do you think happened? Did he survive the jump? Tell us your theory in the comments below. For more deep dives into the unknown, subscribe.